I can begin to create a new picture with the understanding I have developed अभी तक हमारे जितने भी सेशंस हुए हैं उसके अंदर। तो अभी ही मेडिटेशन में मैं इस चीज को मैं देख रहा था कि देयर इज दिस आर्केटिपिकल माइंड एक्सपीरियंस, तो मैं पूरा ही कर लेता हूँ एंड लेट्स जस्ट मेक इट बिगर। तो अभी तक क्या हो रहा था कि वी टॉक्ड अबाउट मैट्रिक्स लास्ट टाइम,
हम्म
एंड हमने मैट्रिक्स के अंदर मतलब जो एक डेप्थ हो सकती थी हमने वी ट्राइड टू आर्टिकुलेट दैट। बट द थिंग इज यहाँ पे माइक्रोकॉज्म और मैक्रोकॉज्म यहाँ पे पूरा चल रहा है। तो अब पहले पता है, मैं जब आर्किटिपिकल माइंड अभी तक हम स्टडी कर रहे थे, मैं सोच रहा था कि जब मैट्रिक्स से ग्रेट वे तक जाते जाते, फॉर
हम्म
एग्जांपल देयर इज तो आर्किटिपिकल माइंड आर द components upon the root of reality.
हम्म
तो विद दिस डायग्राम यू अंडरस्टूड द डेप्थ ऑफ क्रिएशन की, मतलब क्रिएशन कहाँ से कहाँ तक हो रही है, यू गॉट दैट राइट?
हाँ हाँ
तो विद इन द रूट ऑफ रियलिटी, so within the root of reality, so let me talk about creation again. So root of reality में से, like it is like infinity here, intelligent infinity, intelligent energy, everything is here, and
हम्म
from here it is begins to start into creating into individualized portions of consciousness, like maniness बनना start होती है,
हम्म
एंड दैट मैनीनेस का जो कंटेनर होता है वो मैट्रिक्स होता है माइक्रोकॉस्म पे,
या
एंड वो मैट्रिक्स मैट्रिक्स ऑफ द माइंड, आई थिंक दैट दिस इज द मैट्रिक्स ऑफ द स्पिरिट, हमारी जो कॉन्शियसनेस होती है, एंड देन इट रीचेस मैट्रिक्स ऑफ द माइंड एंड देन इट रीचेस मैट्रिक्स ऑफ द बॉडी। डज इट मेक सेंस?
जैसे हमने पढ़ा है, हमने बॉडी माइंड बॉडी और फिर स्पिरिट से पढ़ा हुआ है। दिस इज लाइक गोइंग फ्रॉम माइक्रोकॉस्म टू माइक्रोकॉस्म, यू आर सेइंग, राइट?
हाँ, एग्जैक्टली, आई एम ट्राइंग टू
राइट,
मेक सेंस ऑफ इट लाइक दैट।
द
तो
माइंड
इट
कॉम्प्लेक्स, यस।
so it is like matrix of the spirit, एंड अब इसमें मेरे को और क्लैरिटी मिली है हैंड टू हैंड। तो अब ये क्या है, मैट्रिक्स ऑफ द स्पिरिट, मैट्रिक्स ऑफ द माइंड एंड मैट्रिक्स ऑफ द बॉडी। आई एम ऑल्सो अंडरस्टैंडिंग साथ के साथ अपनी इंटेलिजेंट इन्फिनिटी से चैनल करते हुए। सो हियर इट इज फ्रॉम द रूट ऑफ रियलिटी दैट portion got individualized, and then it reaches the mind, and then the creation happens in the spirit. तो अब तक मैं सोच रहा था कि ये सारे के सारे आर्केटाइप्स अपने आप में अलग अलग लेवल्स ले रहे हैं रियलिटी के अंदर, लाइक मैट्रिक्स वुड बी हियर, और ग्रेट वे वुड बी इन दिस कॉजल रियलिटी जो कि ग्रोस रियलिटी जो कि फिजिकल है।
ग्रेट
तो
वे, नो ग्रेट वे
हाँ,
वोंट बी कॉजल।
अन- वही मतलब मैं सोच रहा था अलग अलग लेवल्स पे एग्जिस्ट करते होंगे, लेकिन
ओके,
ये सारे के सारे एक डीप लेवल पे आर्केटिपिकल माइंड के ही कॉन्सेप्ट हैं, वो ही डीप माइंड का ही कॉन्सेप्ट है सारे के सारे। They are not hierarchical in the manner, but they exist
दे
at
आर
the
नॉट,
same plane with different structures.
दे जस्ट, आई थिंक योर स्टेट ऑफ बीइंगनेस in that particular complex. What beingness are you in the uh, mind complex? Are you at the uh, matrix, or are you at the gateway to, I mean, the great way?
It is not
मुझे
exactly the state of being. It is, uh, these are the
ये कौन?
components basically. तो अब है क्या, जैसे कि माइक्रोकॉज्म से मैक्रोकॉज्म है, फॉर एग्जांपल देयर इज दिस मैट्रिक्स, मैट्रिक्स हमारे लिए सबसे ज्यादा इजीली एक्सेसिबल चीज है, एंड व्हाट अनदर थिंग दैट आई हैव कोरिलेटेड, उस पर चलो मैं बाद में जाता हूँ, लेकिन बात यह है कि दीज आर द वेरियस लेंसेज थ्रू विच वी परसीव ओवर रियलिटी। So what I'm trying to say is these are not just a state of being, these are the actual structures within the deep mind, and these structures are have a scale. Scale means uh, some are small. Let me make shapes here. So this is the very smallest structure, matrix, and this is the very largest structure, great way. And these all structures exist within the deep mind, and our ability to perceive them is what if we have developed into a certain archetypical mind.
Hmm.
Do you got it now?
Yeah, what you're saying, I understand. They do exist in the same level of the deep mind, I agree. But
Like
there
this
has
root of
to be
reality.
uh, a refinement in your mind complex where you can move from the matrix to the great way of the mind. So, great way of the mind, the great way is basically when your mind complex is able to balance itself and tap into the intelligent infinity. जितना मैंने पढ़ा है. So it's like a progress अगर देखा जाए तो.
एग्जैक्टली प्रोग्रेस तो है, क्योंकि ये जितना हम ऊपर ऊपर जाते हैं इसमें कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी बढ़ जाती है इसकी तो।
Certain people might, it's like a scale. You can go up and down the scale. You can't be in one place all the time. There is chances you may fall down back to the matrix also.
A fall down तो we cannot ever fall down. ये तो it is like we have this consciousness, pure consciousness, and we may fall to the state of living within the body, but our pure consciousness always remains at all times. Are you
Yes,
getting
pure
me?
consciousness remains. It's the presence, the I am presence, or the
हाँ,
spirit.
वही चीज। तो
Which
similarly these
the
archetypical minds, they
one
always
who is,
remain.
but we are talking about the mind complex here.
Within mind, body, spirit, everything. These archetypical minds are the structures within this deep root of reality.
कि mind complex में आप ऊपर नीचे हो सकते हो. Like today I
हाँ
feel like I'm going to tap my intelligent infinity. Tomorrow I feel like shit. हो सकता है ना?
हाँ, वो तो है ही यार, मतलब वी कैंट ऑब्वियसली ट्यून इन स्टेट। माइंड कॉम्प्लेक्स में तो ऑब्वियसली मतलब पॉसिबिलिटीज इन्फिनिट है अबाउट एक्सप्लोरिंग वेयर वी वांट टू पुट अवर फोकस ऑन।
Yeah.
We can move in from matrix, potentiator, catalyst, anything based on what we feel open to, and how much we are capable to experience anything. Hmm. So one thing that I was able to get is like these are the polarities, like we have also understood, and this is somewhere in the mid. पहले मैं से अभी मतलब I was in a meditation also. I was trying to understand this with the tree of life of Kabbalah, but it wasn't actually correlating because the tree of life is hierarchical. ऐसा hierarchical है वो. It is like from the root of reality towards the gross reality. But this is on the same plane. So it wasn't making sense as the tree of life. Let me paste the image of tree of life here.
But you can study the archetypes using Tree of Life, I think.
Yes, yes, yes. I do remember that thing also. We can study the archetypes using the tree of life. But how does it fit into that is another thing altogether. So we have this tree of life. So I was जहाँ से अभी ये आ रहा है matrix potentiator. So what I was thinking कि जो creation हो रही है वो it is going from this here. So let me just scroll try करता हूँ, ठीक है? So it is like from here. तो यहाँ से matrix and potentiator, what I am totally correlating with as these two sephiroths are matrix and potentiator, the Bina and Hokma
ये
from the
उल्टा हो
understanding.
गया है सीधा
हाँ,
कर दो.
obviously ये उल्टा हो गया तो
Okay.
that thing, but these lower sephiroths are not correlating with the great way at all. वो
Okay.
एकदम ही अलग चीज है. तो matrix and potentiator are the kind of two polarities, जैसे कि it is like the white and black pillar का aspect है. Potentiator matrix just take a dip from the potentiator and it gains that kind of it charges itself from the potentiator, but
Mm.
it is not that कि ये hierarchy same fashion में जा रही है. It is maybe it is more like this is like this. It is like every component is a part of this, and so here is this thing. So it is like every every archetypical mind has its own tree of life up to the creation. What I'm getting
Oh,
at is,
oh, okay, now I understood.
it is like every kind of archetypical mind goes through its process uh, within the whole creation, from the root of reality, from the microcosm to the macrocosm. This is how creation happens.
Hmm.
Macrocosm to microcosm is the स्केल ऑफ आर्किटेक्चर की, मतलब जो भी हमारी डिजाइन करा है लोगों ने रियलिटी, वो छोटे से छोटी की डिटेल को उसने ध्यान दिया है, और हाईएस्ट से हाईएस्ट लेवल की डिटेल पे ध्यान दिया है कि अगर इफ थिंग्स बिकम वेरी लार्ज स्केल, तो उनका एक घूमने का एक तरीके से होगा, जिसमें एस्ट्रोफिजिक्स लगती है, जनरल थ्योरी ऑफ रिलेटिविटी लगता है। छोटे लेवल पे जो डिजाइन कर रहा है वो क्वांटम मैकेनिक्स ही हो गया, अंडरस्टैंडिंग्स। अब मीडियम लेवल पे जो चीजें लगता है, न्यूटोनियन फिजिक्स टाइप की चीजें हो गई, बेसिक केमिस्ट्री और बायोलॉजी होगी, जो कि जिस तरीके से चीजें निकलनी है, डीएनए का स्ट्रक्चर हो गया। तो दीज आर द कॉन्सेप्ट दैट इमर्जेस आउट एट ईच स्केल। मैक्रोकोज्म के स्केल की जो डिफाइन डिफिनीशंस हैं वो ग्रेट वे तक ही लगता है मेरे को, क्योंकि ये ट्रांसफॉर्मेटर एंड सिग्निफिकेटर आर डिफरेंट थिंग्स ऑल टुगेदर।
Hmm.
तो दैट थिंग एंड जो माइक्रोकोज्म के जो है इंट्रिकेसीज, वो इन चारों के ऊपर से डिफाइन करा गया। दीज आर दैट वेरी स्मॉल स्केल एंड एक्सपीरियंस इन कैटलिस्ट, आई बिलीव वो हमारे स्केल पे काम करते हैं, जिसमें हम चीजों को एक्सपीरियंस करते हैं। तो कैटलिस्ट
Yeah.
एग्जिस्ट एट एवरी स्टेज। कैटलिस्ट एग्जिस्ट एट द लेवल ऑफ स्पिरिट, जहाँ पे रूट ऑफ रियलिटी एग्जिस्ट करती है। कैटलिस्ट एग्जिस्ट एट माइंड, जहाँ पे हम एक्सपीरियंस करते हैं अपनी रियलिटी को मोमेंट टू मोमेंट इनकारनेशन में। तो कैटलिस्ट एक्सपीरियंस एट द बॉडी, जब भी हमें डिजीजेस एनी काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स होती हैं, फिजिकल एलिमेंट्स और फिजिकल एक्सपीरियंसेस ऑफ पेन और प्लेजर। तो इट इज लाइक these go through each stage of reality creation के अंदर। so it exists at each stage, it has a structure which is existing at a root of reality, and it retains itself through the all structures of reality throughout. Does it make sense now?
It is like I'm trying to understand it, but I'm still not able to understand how is it making sense. क्योंकि मुझे वो ट्री ऑफ लाइफ समझ में नहीं आया।
ट्री ऑफ लाइफ ऑब्वियसली इज अ कॉन्सेप्ट फॉर यू। तो बेसिक सेंस में अगर मैं बात करूँ, ट्री ऑफ लाइफ को मैं अगर यहाँ से मैं पिक्चर में से रिमूव ही कर दूं, ठीक है, तो मैं सिंपल सेंस में यही ट्री ऑफ लाइफ है। बहुत सिंपल सेंस में मैं बात करूं, दिस इज द ट्री ऑफ लाइफ। क्रिएशन फ्रॉम द रूट ऑफ रियलिटी टू द ग्रोस रियलिटी। तो
Hmm.
creation happens from the root of reality. Let's say this is the root of reality. This is the 0 point energy field, and this is the God of infinity, what we know as.
Hmm.
And from this point, the infinity uh, differentiated itself and become manyness from oneness. Or say this is the point from where Big Bang happened. There was a singularity, and that singularity exploded into manyness.
Hmm.
And in that process, within that process, there were many stages that happened. So within this process, um, it was when it got individualized, infinity got individualized, it got a free will. And that free will was the logos we know as in the law of one.
Hmm.
It wasn't that the intelligent infinity itself started to create. First of all, it took a form of the logos so that it can have a container in which creation can happen. Logos is the container in which creation happens. So within this logos, uh, logos does not directly create the Big Bang. Before creating the Big Bang, or say the exterior reality we know as, it has go a very, very, very intense process. And that process was first of all sorting itself out. Like, what does the logos want? Logos is in itself the closest essence of the creator,
Hmm.
because we only can understand and know that closest essence to the one infinite creator. So this we can call it one infinite creator itself, because we don't know one infinite creator yet. So we have to call it one infinite creator. So the logos I am referring to is the cosmic logos. It is not the kind of galactic or planet, star system logos that we, Ra talked about. So I'm talking about the creation from the base, exact base from where this whole universe we are experiencing reality in emerged from. So here, this logos had to go through a own process in itself. This process was sorting itself out. Like it was like deciding what kind of experience do I want to have. Uh, And I here means one infinite creator because it indeed is one. It is not separated. So based on what kind of creator and experience do I want to have, uh, it defines everything. So it is not just it created in a single manner. It had to go through various hit and try methods, and it had created, for eons and eons. It means like hundreds of thousands of, like millions and billions of years, again and again, again and again, creating reality. And if it not work, then like destroying the whole universe, and then again creating reality, and then destroying the whole universe, and then again creating reality, and then destroying the whole universe again and again until it reached a architectural structure, a base structure of reality that could actually sustain and exist and provides experience to the logos as manyness. So that was an intense process that extends beyond a lot of time. It is like millions and billions of years. Billions, billions, like unfathomable. Like it is like eternity of years.
Eternity, actually. Can't say million.
Eternity of years. You cannot even understand that thing. It is way beyond our comprehension. It is like eternity of years. It experimented with various creations and various ways in which this oneness can exist and give experience to the logos as manyness, because logos want to experience itself, because one infinite creator want to experience itself. So this logos then created a basic framework. So Big Bang is not a result of directly what the logos has done. Big Bang is a result of the logos succeeding in its primal architecture. So logos ने एक basic architecture बनाया, and it succeeded in that. It is like I am creating an algorithm, and that algorithm actually functions perfectly in the whole system. And that algorithm takes its own shape. जैसे कि Mandelbrot fractal actual में क्या है? सिर्फ एक simple code है. And if that code is implemented successfully, it is like an infinite array of universes. So it is the same thing. So it is like it cracked the code, and when it cracked the code, and actually it starts to like check like it is working, and when it start to check it is working, it exploded into that reality, and it is like actually functioning at this time as we experience our reality. So this was the process in which the logos has to go through, and this has various layers in between. And it is like, first of all, there is this individualization of logos, because individualization of the logos from the creator is in itself a very big deal, because logos is so intimately identified with the creator that it cannot think of itself uh, without the creator. And to be able to create with the free will, logos had to go through a process of separation itself, and that indeed has been a lot painful.
How do you know it's painful?
I know it. I know it because we experience the separation. We itself are at the stage of creation that we are separated from the creator to the point we do not know if creator is even there. And this separation that we experience is the cause of suffering in our lives. Is the
But
only cause of suffering in our lives.
that is because of this particular density requires the veiling process.
It is not just about density. It is about the difference in oneness and manyness. It is about the difference of our distance from the creator. Just the distance of us from the creator is the cause of our suffering. And if we are closer to the creator, we feel the warmth, we feel the safe in us, we feel the security, we feel like There is nothing to be afraid of. And just because we are separated from the creator, it feels like, like there is despair.
Are we really
And
separated from the creator?
hmm,
Are we really separated from the creator?
uh, the
Or is
distance, there is definitely a strong distance between us and the creator, because this
no,
reality and there is very remote from each other.
after reading Ramana Maharshi, one thing what I've understood is separation is also an illusion. It's an illusion you feel separate. You're not really separated from an infinite creator.
Indeed. So, does the after the realization of the separation as an illusion, does the separation goes away instantly?
It doesn't go away, but at least become aware of it being an illusion.
And being aware of the separation, will being aware of the separation will take all your pain of this 3D incarnation away.
It does most of the pain, yes, but not all.
Exactly. And does knowing about that this separation is an illusion, will that extinguish your thirst for seeking more of what you want to in this reality? Will it extinguish that thirst?
It will not extinguish.
Exactly. So this is the thing, because uh, when we actually attain the one infinite creator, there is nothing left else we left to do. It is like when we have attained our one infinite creator, the only thing left to do is to create as the logos. We create another cycle itself. So before until that, it is like we are at this point in our creation. We are at this point, and this point is very, very far away from there. And what we are doing is we are going back to the source from here. And it is not only like physically going back, it is also like going mentally and spiritually. And
As
this, and
it's
this
not geographical location that we have to reach, right?
it is not geographical, but it is a spiritual location.
Progression spiral.
Yep. And this process, the amount of time the logo took in creating this architecture, eternity of years, this time what we will be taking to reach back to logos will take eternity of uh, what this open it take eternity of years times eternity of years. It will take more time than that, because we are experiencing that thing from a limited perspective. It will take more time that because we are in the playground, and this playground logos have designed that it is a difficult playground than uh, what initially has been there, has not been there even. So
Here I would like to say one thing. I
hmm,
just remembered that Ra said, there is a copy of you in every density. Like you are there in the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth density, beyond that also.
huh,
Like your higher self, your total self, your lower selves are also there.
hmm,
So you are actually simultaneously in all densities, on all points of that spiritual evolution, and yet, and also you are the one infinite creator, and still there is the separation, illusion of separation, but you're everywhere simultaneously.
huh. So like if you move along that train of thought, it means that if we already are simultaneously, then what is the need of moving on anyways?
It's more like merging one part of you into yourself, and you merging into your higher self, and higher self merging into your total self, and then it's probably, and it continues, it continues. When we talk about spirit animals, they are your spirit animal because they are you in that second density.
Huh, I got that, understanding that we exist simultaneously at that, because time is not linear. And if
Time
time
is
is not linear, we are already at one with our future selves that are actually progressing in alternate universes and experiencing another life that in which we are highly evolved, and even to the point of sixth or seventh or eighth density. But from our vantage point, it is not certain that we have yet achieved that stage. And
no, we have
in this illusion. And if I talk about ourselves that exist in the time space, we do not know about it because of the veil, or self that exists in the time space. And that may be sixth density self, that may be fifth density self, that may be because that self is an average of what our l- lives are experiencing in various universe. So let me put it this way: this is our self.
What is that?
This is self.
Self. Okay.
So this exists in time space.
Hmm.
Our kind of true essence of soul,
Hmm.
true essence of soul that exists in time space.
Hmm.
So this true essence of soul that exists in time space, it simultaneously experience realities in various universes, multiverses, and dimensions. So there is this one universe that we are experiencing reality in, and similarly,
Hmm.
we are experiencing reality in various other parallel realities. So it is like we are here in third density, and similarly, we may be there in fourth density, fifth density, sixth density, or seventh density. We may be there in all of them.
Even lower, first and second.
Yeah, even lower. Our bodies are in itself experiencing our low density, uh, because our cells and molecules that we are living in a body, it is us that are
Hmm.
experiencing second or first density life forms.
Hmm. Yeah, you're right.
So what is happening that the average of all of that what we are experiencing is our true essence of soul.
Hmm.
If I'm not mistaken in that understanding,
Hmm. You're right.
the average of all the simultaneous existence in different realms. So it is because we are not infinite yet. By the uh, understanding that you were telling me of Pa and like that premise, it suggests that we have already attained infinity. And we already
Hmm.
are infinity. That is hypothetically correct that we are infinity. But if we are already infinity, then there is no purpose of existence that is left for us. It
That
is
is the
like
paradox. Ra also said
exactly,
about this is a paradox. It is not
Mhm.
necessary, but it is so, which is a paradox.
Exactly. So it is a paradox. We indeed are infinite in a sense, but this design, for to understanding the purpose of life, we need to understand the intention of creation, logos. Like if everything is complete and infinite and whole and perfect, then what is the meaning of existing anymore? Why do we even exist if everything is already whole and complete? Why are we imperfect beings existing in a reality that is totally perfect? Why? It is a very valid question indeed if you go into a deep inquiry.
Yeah.
If everything is perfect, everything is whole and complete, then what is the purpose of existence anymore? So, to understand this, we need to understand the logos because we try to empathize and understand each and every being in the reality that we encounter with share love and compassion with. But we leave the single most entity that has poured the most amount of love at eternity of years into the creation.
Hmm.
We need to understand the logos.
We need to understand the logos, and the way to do that is understanding archetypes.
Yes, you got right to the point. Do it by understanding the architecture. And Kabbalah talks about it, all the traditions talk about it, but it cannot, make a comprehensive picture. Like, what exactly is this means? And, like the really advanced non-dual studies take it to that depth. For example, I've seen The Science of Kabbalah, a book by Dr. Uh, Lateman. Michael Laitman talked about this in extensive detail because he was indeed a PhD and expert in that thing. And
Hmm.
there are some things like some aspects of Advanced Vedanta talk about the architecture, but those are very, very much obscured by other things because this is a concept that cannot be talked about in a linear manner.
Hmm.
So the thing is logos. So I am trying to empathize with logos here. So the process of separation, because the infinite is like complete whole. Infinite does not have any will to do. Infinite is like totally complete, totally whole, and it does not even have a desire to do anything. Do you think that if you have everything, if you have ever desired, would you do anything else?
Mm.
So
Curiosity. But then if you're everything since eternity, then you would want to know about yourself more.
no, that does not yet happen. That happens at the onset of logos. It is
Mm.
like infinite ocean is there, and in the infinite ocean, it gives rise to a an initial spark,
Yeah,
and
water
then
bubble.
yeah, that bubble, and that bubble then does that thing, and from this image, just understand how small the logos is.
Yeah, the ocean is
Just understand how small this logos is.
all get powerful.
Yeah, this is the whole universe I am like imagining here, and this universe we still are unable to get comprehend. And in this universe, it is like all spiral galaxies, and within this spiral galaxies, we have our this galaxies, and the whole universe, and within this, we have our स्टार किसी कोने में, और फिर उस स्टार सिस्टम के अंदर किसी कोने में वी हैव दिस प्लैनेट. This is crazy thing. So
Hmm.
the thing is, uh, it is the thing that we can see. I can see, the most. I cannot yet see, ki- who created yet the logos, because there would be something uh, else that must have created the logos, various logos, who had taken the form before the infinity, because there must be various layers that led to this point of logos that happened into that. So what I am getting to at is this infinite is whole and complete, and this infinite does not act independently. It does not have any will. It is like just whole and complete, and it is like you have an amoeba, and this amoeba, accidentally ejects itself, and this amoeba is infinite, and this amoeba just ejects itself, that is less infinite than infinite, but it is still infinite. But that's
Great.
because just because it was less infinite, it can do the same things that is infinite, but it is not restricted by the desire that it has everything.
Hmm.
So it is not restricted by the desire that it has everything. Basically, uh, that it has everything, or it is infinite, or it or in spirituality, it is called bestow, the desire to bestow. If you remember in Kabbalah, the spiritual desire is not restricted by the desire. So this is like pinnacle of fullness. Right? And if it won't do anything. It is the thing that is most serene, actionless, and it does not do anything. It is like karmaless, totally. It does not do any action. This is why when we experience that state, what we do is we remove everything that is impure, that is doing any action, and we reach the thing that is not doing any action. We realize this thing from there, serene, actionless, wholeness. But it is just the experience, momentary experience, and this experience, anyone on any stages of reality, any stages of consciousness, and if I pull up the map of consciousness, uh, so these are the altitudes of development, and this experience of causal state. uh, any one of the more orange and higher stages can experience that. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. But the
Anyone
same is not very
at
clear.
this stage and higher can experience this state of reality that Raman Maharshi talks about,
Hmm.
and all Vedanta and all the state-centered practices talk about. You just need to have the ability of introspection, and once you have this ability of introspection and you follow certain practices, you can reach that causal state.
Yeah.
But reaching this causal state does not mean that, it indeed is an experience of enlightenment, but it is not the actualization of enlightenment. What actually means enlightenment is a work of, eternity of years multiplied by eternity of years. It is that work, and within that work you expand your, ability of mind, ability of body, and ability of spirit, so that this limited self is expand up till it reaches this logos, and then up to this infinity. And there is, limitless possibilities, of, ascension.
Yeah.
So we at this stage, whatever catalyst we are experiencing at third density, and our, counterparts that are experiencing in various other densities, we are doing our part in aiding our true essence to be evolved, to reach that stage of that we can experience, the creation ourselves. So I believe the eighth density is the stage where we experience the, creation, primordial forms of creation, not exactly the forms of creation that our logos do, but the primordial forms of creation. But it
The
indeed, हम्म
the octave.
क्या ऑक्टेव का मतलब जो खत्म होता है ना सेवेंथ के बाद एट्थ, तो जो एट्थ डेंसिटी की
That is
जो
that is inside the black hole.
इनसाइड द ब्लैक होल,
Hmm.
how do you frame that?
So it's like basically ending of one universe and it's starting of another. So the entire all
Oh,
the experiences get distilled into that black hole, and you emerge from the other side of it as new creation. New creation starts.
possibly. Yeah, it does
Not
make
even
sense.
that. I'm not saying this. This Ra had said last session, I think 29th
Hmm.
session.
Indeed, it does make sense.
Yeah.
बिकॉज इट इज लाइक तो ब्लैक होल के अंदर जो होता है ना क्रिएशन का, एक तरीके से वो होता है इंजन्स बोल लो, या तो क्या कहते हैं ना, एक सैंड बॉक्स हो गया जिसमें एक्सपेरिमेंट चलते हैं।
Mm.
तो वो एक्सपेरिमेंट चल रहा है, लग रहा है उसके अंदर, लाइक लोगोस इज एक्सपेरिमेंटिंग विद न्यू वेज ऑफ क्रिएशन।
Yeah.
तो इट इज लाइक जो नहीं होते बच्चे बच्चे वाले लोगोस होते हैं, द इन्फेंट लोगोस।
Different logos. We are also logos, by the way. Up till the smallest possible creation is logos. Logos,
अप टिल द
sublogos.
स्मॉलेस्ट पॉसिबल क्रिएशन व्हाट?
We are also logos only. We are, I mean, up till the last smallest particle of the creation, everything is logos.
हाँ,
So the
सब सब लोगोस कहते हैं ना हमें, वी आर
the
सब लोगोस।
humans, the animals, the birds, everything is logos. Logos, if you define logos, it just means love, focus of love.
हम्म। Yep. And how the logos of focus of love happens is like, if I move back to this thing, it will, move back to this thing. So like what the logos does is that in the individualization process, it creates a, filter. वो नहीं होता जैसे जाली होती है चाय छानने वाली। तो वैसे ना, this is a, kind of वो जाली है।
Hmm. Different
and
levels.
and ये आर्केटिपिकल माइंड की जाली है। एंड
Okay.
आर्केटिपिकल माइंड एंड ये आर्केटिपिकल माइंड की जाली करती क्या है? जब क्रिएशन हैपन्स होती है, क्रिएशन हैपन्स विद द पावर ऑफ द वन इन्फिनिट क्रिएटर। एंड
Hmm.
इसके अंदर क्या होता है, वो वन इन्फिनिट क्रिएटर की इंटेलिजेंट एनर्जी एंटर्स दिस जाली, एंड दिस जाली रिकन्फिगर्स, क्योंकि एवरी जाली इट इज लाइक दिस इज द ग्रेट वे की जाली, ठीक है, एंड दिस इज द मैट्रिक्स की जाली। यू गेट द सेंस, राइट? दिस इज द आर्केटिपिकल माइंड की जाली।
Hmm.
And this intelligent energy then reconfigures itself. Then it reconfigures itself into various patterns. And फिर इसके अंदर से जो creation आती है, it comes in an organized manner. It comes in an organized, regularized, and structured manner. Structured manner. So इसके अंदर एनर्जी का एक स्ट्रक्चर चेंज हो जाता है. सो इसके इस प्रोसेस के अंदर this one single energy, it not only get structurized, but it also get individualized. And it does not only get individualized at one scale, it get individualized at all scales of reality, from microcosm to macrocosm. So from our stage, every atom, molecule, everything is individualized, and we ourselves are individualized cells, molecules, humans, and planets, suns, and everything are individualized, and larger scale space-time fabric in itself is individualized. Space and time is also alive. Time is also a live entity. Do you know about that?
Yeah.
Time heals itself. Time machines के मैंने experiments के बारे में सुना है. If anyone changes or alters the timeline, time heals and corrects itself. So space and time in itself.
एक मेरे दिमाग में आ रहा है, if we consider the one infinite creator as a being, we all are अगर body, we are part of his body, we are like that one cell. जैसे मेरे body के अंदर
Yes, yes.
keratin, there is a smaller cell, then there is cell के अंदर
हाँ
organelles,
हाँ हाँ.
क्या है उसके अंदर DNA. So we are like that tiny particles, tiny cell inside that eternal body of the creator.
Exactly.
So it exists in
And
time and both.
क्रिएटर तक तो मेरे को पता है, अब जाना पसंद ही नहीं लगता, क्योंकि ये देखो हम कहाँ एग्जिस्ट करते हैं. क्रिएटर को हम क्या ही जानेंगे. लोगोस बोलो सबसे पहले. जस्ट कॉल लोगोस.
Okay, levels. Yeah.
क्रिएटर बहुत ऊपर की बात है. बस फर्स्ट स्टार्ट अंडरस्टैंडिंग लोगोस.
Okay.
नहीं समझ पाएगा यार. मैं तो ये देख के भाई, ये लोगोस इतना चुनना मुन्ना, इतना बड़ा समंदर कहाँ है. लोगोस इतना बड़ा है अपना क्रिएशन पूरा. अब इस लोगोस के अंदर ये इसके अंदर ये वाला आर्किटेक्चर भी है जिसके थ्रू हम मल्टीपल रियलिटीज एक्सपीरियंस कर रहे हैं. अभी तो जिस मैंने जो डायग्राम्स वगैरह बनाए हैं, these diagrams only correlate kind of this space and time thing. अब इसके अंदर फॉर एग्जांपल, अगर ये जो इसको, हाँ, अगर मैं इसको टेढ़ा कर दूं यूं, ठीक है. अब ऐसी ये पैरेलल रियलिटीज भी हैं पूरी की पूरी. यू गेटिंग मी?
Hmm.
एंड ये पैरेलल रियलिटीज का गुच्छा, इट इन इटसेल्फ comprises logos, multiverses, and parallel reality जो कि सेम स्पेस टाइम के रूल्स पे चल रही हैं, जो कि हमारा लोगोस पैरेलल क्रिएट कर रहा है, क्योंकि इट इज नॉट ओनली स्पेस एंड टाइम. दिस क्रिएशन बाय लोगोस इज नॉट ओनली स्पेस एंड टाइम, बट ऑल्सो टाइम एंड स्पेस.
Yes.
और टाइम और स्पेस के बारे में हम इतना अच्छा जानते नहीं जितनी हम ज्योग्राफी और ये सब जान रहे हैं. और हम जो जिन मोड्स पे बात कर रहे हैं वो ज्यादातर साइंटिफिक और उस पे भी आ जाती है. तो देयर इज लेस अबाउट स्टिल, क्योंकि यू आर आल्सो लाइक जस्ट बिकॉज, अब जो मैं अंडरस्टैंडिंग बोल रहा हूँ उसके अंदर some portions of time and space were missing. This is why I had to clarify this thing to you.
Yeah.
Average of all simultaneous experiences in different realms, क्योंकि हमारी लैंग्वेज कवर ही नहीं करती. So this is logos, the ultimate thing we can understand right now. And the only thing we have, भाई रान ने ना मतलब मजाक मजाक में ही इतनी जबरदस्त चीज बता दी है ना. Like if people actually delve into it, they can like go leaps and bounds into their spiritual journeys. तो मैं तो यार इस चीज पे मजा आता है देख के कि यार हमारा जो माइंड बॉडी स्पिरिट कॉम्प्लेक्स टोटलिटी है, भाई साहब क्या क्या प्लान बनाया है हमारा, सीरियसली. लाइक टू बी एबल टू मेक अस इनकारनेट इन दिस टाइमलाइन, जिसके अंदर रा ने रॉ मटेरियल दिया है, एंड हमको मतलब ये अपॉर्चुनिटी देने की, भाई साहब हम ये थर्ड डेंसिटी फोर्थ डेंसिटी बीइंग्स होते हुए, एक्सपीरियंस करते हुए हम ये स्टडी कर रहे हैं.
I understand. That is why I was telling you we should do that ritual of inviting them in our sessions. But I do feel their presence though. जैसे थॉट्स आते हैं ना दिमाग में, ऐसा लगता है किसी ने डाले हैं थॉट्स.
Vibrations. Are you closed off to their vibrations?
हाँ.
Are you closed off to their vibrations in any way?
Closed off? No, I'm not.
मतलब नो ना. आई ऑल्सो, अगर हम बाई चांस अगर हम भूल भी जाते हैं ना इनवाइट करना, तो आई डोंट डाउट कि दे वुड बी लाइक लाइक एंजॉयिंग अवर एनर्जीज जहाँ पे हम क्रिएट कर रहे हैं.
No, they must be observing, but they won't interfere. That is the thing. So if we want them to interfere or, uh,
तो
participate, we have to ask them. They will not.
हाँ,
Even that is what I
वो
was
तो है.
saying.
इंडीड. ये व्हाट आई आल्सो बिलीव इज लाइक, हमने जो ये पाथ चुना है इसके अंदर, लाइक देयर इज आल्सो अ लॉट ऑफ इनर प्लेन्स बीइंग्स जो कि हमारे इन्हीं टाइप के वेंचर्स को देख के लाइक दे कम टू अस, एंड दे
Mm.
जैसे कि अ मॉथ टू अ फ्लेम, इज लाइक दे आर लाइक come to us like, okay, like here's the action going on, let's enjoy this. and
Mhm.
and they want to preserve this action, they also want to preserve this energy that we are create through these interactions, energy transfers, and so on.
Mm.
So there is this logos, individualization of logos. This is a process of separation. Now you understand the pain of separation, I believe.
Yes.
It is indeed. And when it separates, it undergoes the pain, it finally achieves free will. Before that, it cannot achieve free will to create. Finally achieves free will to create. And when it finally achieves free will to create, it starts to experimentations with intelligent energy. हम बात कर रहे थे लाइक इन्फेंट लोगोस ब्लैक होल में.
Print logos.
एक्सपेरिमेंटेशन विद इंटेलिजेंट एनर्जी एंड दैट थिंग. एंड सच में मेरे को जो ब्लैक होल्स है नर्सरी लग रहे हैं नाउ. these are sounding like nurseries.
Oh,
बच्चों की
seriously.
जैसे कि मतलब क्या होता है ना, एक तो बच्चों को खाना चाहिए होता है, मतलब जब मर्जी जो मर्जी दे नीड लाइक एम्पल ऑफ रिसोर्सेज. ब्लैक होल करता है क्या है, सब चीजें सक इन कर लेता है भाई, रिसोर्सेज चाहिए, भूख लगी है.
हाँ.
इट इज
It's
लाइक
like
एनर्जी फॉर
stop,
क्रिएशन.
refresh yourself. You don't
अब
have
इसके
to.
अंदर ना मिक्सी चल रखी है पूरी की पूरी. सब
हाँ,
आता
mix.
है, मिक्सी हो जाती है इसके अंदर.
सब
और
mix.
फिर उसके थ्रू दैट थिंग इट
Pour
इट
and then get out from
ट्रांसम्यूट
that.
इनटू प्योर एनर्जी. दिस थिंग ट्रांसम्यूट इनटू इंटेलिजेंट एनर्जी. क्योंकि भैया जब सब इस लेवल पे कुचल जाएगा तो मतलब सिर्फ वही बचेगी ना, इंटेलिजेंट एनर्जी. और
Mm.
फिर इस इंटेलिजेंट एनर्जी पे काम क्या बचता है? इसके पास बस काम बचता है भाई एक्सपेरिमेंट करो.
Everything is about experiment.
हाँ.
Experience,
सैंड बॉक्स ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस एक्सपेरिमेंट्स
experiments, creating experiences.
फॉर इन्फेंट लोगोस.
Fine for local.
या दिस इज द ब्लैक होल का टाइटल भी डाल दो यहाँ पे. ब्लैक होल जैसे कि वो नहीं होता अपना सेक पफ डेंसिटी बीइंग्स होते हैं ये अपना, दे डू नॉट हैव एनी काइंड ऑफ free will or agency or anything, they just exist.
Yeah, they are just conscious. They're just existing.
They are just existing. And similarly like हम अगली स्टेज पे हम आ गए, हम एक मैक्रो लेवल ऑफ रियलिटी पे एग्जिस्ट कर रहे हैं, हमें नहीं पता भैया चलना कैसे है, चलते चलते हम लुढ़क जाएंगे. तो वी
They're
वुड नॉट we would not
toddlers.
be having that level of range कि भाई हम पूरे यूनिवर्सेस क्रिएट कर रहे हैं एक डेंसिटी पे आके. इट वुड बी लाइक हम थोड़ा पैर फैलाएंगे, धीरे धीरे चलना सीखेंगे, हम थोड़ा गिरेंगे. एंड वी नीड सच सैंड बॉक्सेस. हमें चाहिए ताकि हम अगर ऐसा पूरा यूनिवर्स क्रिएट ना कर दें जहाँ सिर्फ और सिर्फ तबाही मच रही हो और लोग मर रहे हो क्रिएट होते ही. वी डू नॉट वांट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ पेन एज ऑफ क्रिएशन टू बी गिवन टू द वन इन्फिनिट क्रिएटर. अगर हम क्रिएट कर
Yeah,
रहे हैं, वी वांट टू क्रिएट सो दैट initially we would be able to create such forms experimentally, to be able to create such forms that provide experience to the one infinite creator. एंड आई बिलीव ये ना जो सारे जो नहीं होते इनर प्लेन्स के बीइंग के कन्वर्सेशन बड़े मजे से सुन. ये उनके लिए भी जरूरी चीज लग रहा है।
पेट्री डिश है ये हमारा,
या
जो थर्ड का, इट्स अ पेट्री डिश। सारे सब सब टाइप के बैक्टीरिया डाल दे एक साथ पेट्री डिश। सब ग्रो कर रहे हैं, एक दूसरे को मार रहे हैं।
हाँ सीरियसली ये बैटरी कैसे है, पूरा है टाइम स्पेस स्पेस टाइम का।